In the sweltering heat of a Los Angeles summer night, a lanky 17-year-old kid from the bustling streets of Davao City, Philippines, clutches a battered ukulele like it's his last lifeline, steps into the spotlight of America's Got Talent, and unleashes a Coldplay remix so raw and electric it makes Simon Cowell, the man who's shredded dreams for decades, lean forward, eyes wide, whispering, "That's the one we've been waiting for." If this kid's fire has you glued to your screen, smash that subscribe button right now for more underdog triumphs that prove talent knows no borders. We drop new stories every week that'll leave you cheering. The sun hung low over Davao City like a bruised mango, casting long shadows across the cracked sidewalks of Poblacion District where Marco Ruiz spent his days dodging jeepneys and dreaming in snatches of melody. At 17, Marco was no stranger to the grind. His father, a fisherman who came home reeking of salt and diesel, had lost his right arm to a rogue wave 3 years back, turning their modest bamboo home into a shrine of unpaid bills and whispered apologies. His mother, Elena, stitched clothes by lamplight until her fingers bled, her eyes always on the horizon where the Sulu Sea met the sky. Marco was the glue, the one who skipped school to busk on the corners of Roxas Avenue, strumming covers of Western bands to earn enough pesos for rice and his sister's antibiotics. Coldplay was his escape, Chris Martin's voice a beacon through the typhoon season rains that flooded their floor. He'd remix their hits on that second-hand ukulele his tita had smuggled from Manila, layering in Filipino folk rhythms he'd picked up from his lolo's old radio. Viva la Vida became a lament for lost fathers, Yellow, a defiant glow against the blackouts. But dreams, in Davao, they were as fragile as the durian husks littering the markets. It started with a glitch in the universe, or so Marco liked to tell himself later. One humid afternoon in 2024, while scrolling a borrowed phone at the internet cafe, paying by the minute for pirated Wi-Fi, he stumbled on a viral clip, a street singer from Cebu nailing an AGT audition, golden confetti raining down like manna. The comments exploded with American awe. "This is why we love AGT, raw talent from anywhere." Marco's heart hammered. He was no Cebu star, he was Davao Grit, the boy who fixed his own strings with fishing line. But that night, under the hum of geckos on the walls, he recorded a shaky video of his Coldplay mashup, Clocks, fused with Fix You, ukulele plucks weaving through a beatbox he'd mimicked from YouTube. He uploaded it to TikTok with trembling thumbs, captioning it, "From Davao to Dreams #Octbound." Sleep came fitful, haunted by the what-ifs. By morning, the video had 500 views. By evening, 5,000. Elena found him at dawn, rice pot bubbling, and pulled him into a hug that smelled of adobo and hope. "Mijo, the Americans are calling you a prodigy." Comments flooded in. "Dude, that twist on Yellow gave me chills." From a user in New York, "Simon would eat this up." From LA, a week later, the email pinged, an official AGT invitation for virtual auditions. Marco stared at the screen, the cafe's fan whirring like applause. But doubt crept in like monsoon fog. He had no passport, no plane ticket, no polished demo. His best friend, Javi, a wiry mechanic with tattooed knuckles, slapped his back. "Pack your guts, pair. The world's bigger than this island." Marco sold his comic collection and borrowed from Tita's jewelry box to fund a Manila trip for the embassy run. Visas were a labyrinth of forms and fate, but 2 months of prayers and persistence later, he held that blue booklet like a talisman. The flight to LAX was a blur of recycled air and wide-eyed wonder. Marco, wedged in economy, clutched his ukulele case, now taped and travel-worn, while the plane sliced through clouds thicker than Davo's fog. He'd practiced non-stop, refining his mix, a 5-minute opus blending The Scientist, Paradise, and Sky Full of Stars, into a symphony of loss and lift-off, ukulele heartstrings pulling at Coldplay's synth soul with Pinoy soul. But as the wheels touched down in Los Angeles, reality bit harder than a stray dog. Jet lag clawed at him, the city sprawled like a concrete beast, billboards screaming celebrities he only knew from faded magazines. He crashed at a cousin's cramped apartment in Echo Park, sharing a futon with roaches and regret. "What if they laugh?" he whispered to the ceiling fan. Javi's texts buzzed encouragement from 7,000 miles away. "Show him Davao fire, bro." Audition day dawned smoggy and surreal. The Pasadena Civic Auditorium loomed like a coliseum, swarmed by hopefuls, fire breathers from Vegas, tap-dancing grannies from Texas, a contortionist with a backstory sadder than a telenovela. Marco, in his faded Coldplay tee and jeans patched at the knees, felt like an extra in someone else's movie. Backstage was a pressure cooker, nerves frayed like guitar strings, egos clashing in whispers. He met Lila, a 22-year-old violinist from Seattle with purple-streaked hair and a chip on her shoulder. "First time?" she asked, tuning her strings. Marco nodded, throat dry. "From the Philippines." "You?" she smirked. "Third. Got cut last round by Howie for being too classical. This time, I'm fusing Vivaldi with trap beats. What's your gimmick, kid? He shrugged. Coldplay. But, mine. Her laugh was kind, but her eyes scanned him like competition. Simon's allergic to covers. Make it yours, or you're toast. The line snaked forward, acts rising and falling like tides. A comedian bombed with dad jokes, a dog act charmed but fizzled. Then Marco's name crackled over the speakers. His legs turned to bamboo stalks as he shuffled on stage, the lights blinding brighter than Davo's noon sun. The judges sat in judgment. Sofia Vergara's warm smile, Howie's affable nod, Heidi Klum's glittering poise, and Simon Cowell, stone-faced emperor in a black tee, arms crossed like barriers. The host, Terry Crews, boomed his intro, from Davao City, Philippines, 17-year-old Marco Ruiz. Applause rippled, polite but distant. Marco gripped the mic stand, ukulele slung like a shield. Hello, judges. I'm Marco, from Davao, the city of fruits and floods, where dreams grow wild like mangosteens. A chuckle from Sofia. I've always loved Coldplay because their songs feel like home, aching, but alive. This is my mix, a story of fixing what's broken. Simon leaned in, eyebrow arched. Coldplay. Bold. But we've heard 1,000 covers. What makes yours different? Marco swallowed. It's not a cover. It's a remix from my blood. The room hushed. He strummed the opening chords of The Scientist, soft, tentative ukulele plinks echoing like rain on tin roofs. Then, the twist. He layered in a Davao folk melody his Lola sang, a haunting balata rhythm that turned regret into rebellion. Voices swelled in his throat, harmonizing with imaginary bandmates, beatboxing the clock ticks into a heartbeat pulse. The audience leaned forward as he transitioned seamlessly into Paradise, his voice cracking on the high notes, not from fear, but raw emotion, evoking lost paradises of childhood beaches now scarred by storms. Whispers spread, kids got pipes. But halfway through, the first twist hit like a rogue wave. A string snapped, sharp as a gunshot, mid-chord on, sky full of stars. Gasps rippled, Simon's face tightened, that familiar critique brewing. Marco froze, the auditorium's silence deafening. Lila's words echoed, make it yours, or you're toast. In Davao, he'd fixed strings with wire, here, panic clawed. But then, instinct, pure, unscripted, took over. He dropped the ukulele, voice unaccompanied, belting the chorus a cappella, his hands weaving air like a fisherman casting nets. The crowd erupted, Heidi clapped first. He improvised, pulling from Fix You, tears into a soaring falsetto that filled the void, turning breakage into breakthrough. Simon's pen hovered, forgotten. As the final note hung, a starlit wail that faded into applause thunder, Marco stood panting, sweat beading like dew. Sofia jumped up first. Ay, Dios mío, that was magic. The way you turned pain into stars. Howie beamed. Bro, you had us at hello, but that snap. Epic recovery. 4 yeses easy. Heidi gushed. Darling, your voice is a rainbow after the storm. Simon. He sat still, a statue cracking. Minutes stretched eternal. Then, slowly, he stood. Marco, in 20 years on these shows, I've heard innovation. But this, you took a broken moment and made it beautiful. That's not talent, that's genius. The panel buzzed agreement. Marco's eyes stung, tears or lights, he couldn't tell. But the real twist uncoiled in the green room post-audition, as confetti dreams swirled in his head. Lila cornered him, her violin case slung like a weapon. Nice save, kid. But words out, you're the buzz. Her smile twisted. Just know, I scouted you on TikTok. Tipped off the producers about your vid. Figured a little Davao flavor would spice the lineup. Marco blinked. You, what? She shrugged. Competition's fierce. I needed an edge. But hey, you earned it. Betrayal bit, sharp as the snapped string. Was his shot rigged? A diversity plaything for American eyes. He stormed out, ukulele thumping his thigh, dialing Elena on a borrowed phone. Ma, I sang. They loved it. But, it might be fake. Her voice, crackling over static, steadied him. Mijo, truth sings louder than strings. Trust your voice. Word spread like wildfire through the AGT machine. By quarterfinals, Marco was a sensation, hashtag Davao Dreamer trending, clips remixed on every platform. Back home, Davao erupted, markets paused mid-haggle, fishermen toasted with tuba. Javi sent grainy videos of street parties under banyan trees. But fame's underbelly gnawed. Sponsors called, ukulele brands, energy drinks, offering deals that smelled of strings attached. And Lila. She advanced too, her trap Vivaldi a sleek contrast to his raw roots. In rehearsals, she needled. Cute story, Marco. But America's voting for polish, not pity. He pushed harder, weaving deeper twists into his set, a dedication to his father's ghost arm, a verse on climate flood swallowing islands. His second performance, a full band collab with AGT musicians, blended Coldplay's Viva La Vida with revolutionary anthems from Philippine history, kings falling like dominoes in a ukulele cascade. The crowd roared, votes poured in. Then, the semifinal gut punch. 2 nights before showtime, Alina's call shattered the hotel room calm. Your tate, heart attack. Stable, but come home. Marcos' world tilted. Fly back. Forfeit the dream. Javi's voice cut through. Pair, finish this. For him, he's watching on that old TV. Sleepless, he poured grief into the stage. Semi-finals night, under strobing lights, he unveiled the ultimate twist, a live collaboration with a surprise guest. As Yellow swelled, Chris Martin himself appeared via video link, strumming along from a London studio. Heard about you, Marco. Let's light it up. The judges gaped. Simon stood mid-song. Marco's voice, laced with unshed tears, hit new heights, the ukulele a bridge across oceans. Votes skyrocketed. Lila, edged out, conceded with a grudging nod. You win dirty, but damn, you win. Finals loomed like a crown of thorns. Marco, now, a whirlwind of interviews and Insta-lives, felt the weight. Backstage, Simon pulled him aside, a rare audience with the king. Kid, you're not just good. You're the reminder why we do this. That snap, that was real. Don't lose it. Marco nodded, throat tight. The finale stage glittered, a sea of faces from every state, chanting his name. His Closer, the full Coldplay odyssey, twists unfolding like petals, strings reinforced but ready to break for authenticity, harmonies swelling with guest vocalists from past acts. As Fix You crested, lights dimmed to stars, his voice a bomb, lights will guide you home and ignite your bones. The verdict dropped like golden rain. Winner, Marco Ruiz. Confetti blizzarded, Terry hoisted him high. But the true buzzer. Backstage, a package waited, plane tickets, not one way, but round trip, from AGT donors. And a note from Simon, for the arm. Get him the best. Marco crumpled, sobbing joy. Alina's video call beamed Tate's weak grin, proud, mijo. Viva la vida. In the afterglow, Marco returned to Davao a hero, ukulele in tow, building a music school from winnings, kids like him, remixing worlds. But the twists lingered. Lila became his manager, her edge honed into alliance, Javi joined as roadie, trading wrenches for spotlights. And Simon, he flew in unannounced for a jam session on Roxas Avenue, Coldplay chords mingling with street hawkers' calls. Talent, Marco learned, wasn't a solo, it was a net, cast wide overseas. Yet, in quiet moments by the Sulu, strumming under mango moons, he wondered, was it glitch or grace that launched him? The answer sang back in every chord, both, and neither. Just a boy from Davao, fixing the stars one twist at a time.